Hi class, I wanted to give you some video feedback. This is another set and I'm really happy to see what's been going on. Students have been doing a great job this month. So let's just jump right in. Great, I can see your name and what you do. You have the proper menu and pages. We'll check to see if those are linked up, but I'm going to scroll down just to see. Okay. Yeah, double check all your buttons. That should be going to your contact page, and maybe not talk about us, rather, just, contact, since it's probably not a production company yet. I don't know. I hope this is yours and not placeholder. I hope this is yours and not placeholder. Do make sure we don't cut this. We'll either have to extend the button or rename it to portfolio. Okay, and again, that's not quite linked up. So check all your buttons. If this was a pre-made template, then that could be a little more work. You might want to double check, make sure that you're not using AI because it's going to throw people under the bus with very small little changes that are really can go undetected until you actually start reading it. And it can sometimes say the exact opposite of what we wanted to say. Make sure this is a Google Voice number, a free voice number. I'll be posting additional how-to tutorials in case people are stuck. You want to make sure everything is yours. Checking all the buttons. That should be going to your portfolio. Okay, so this feels like AI. This feels a little like AI. This is why I say it sounds like AI. When you write something, and we did have you write your about page using that, but you gave it very specific details, or that was the ask on that. AI defaults to industry jargon and buzzwords. They don't really say anything if you look closely, like our distinctive approach. Well, we need to know that. We need to see an example of that. You say cutting edge techniques, but we don't know what those are. Deep understanding of narrative, that might be. We bring stories to life in ways that captivate and inspire audiences, but we don't say we bring stories to life by, and telling us exactly that. And the reason it's important is because this may look clean, but it doesn't really showcase you. It showcases chat. And unfortunately, chat is doing very similar things to everybody, and that's how it's recognized, because it has a thumbprint. All right, let's take this out. And if it's not yet a production company, you'll want to just list your work. All right, and just talk about yourself as a filmmaker and your examples. That's all. Curious, let me know what you did here, trying to see if that's AI or if you actually went in and did something here. I need to know that. Leverages to transform branded content, our expert team dedicated to creating. This doesn't tell me about this. It doesn't tell me about some work that you've done. And that's on the move, all we want. Always okay. Now, this is in the right direction. Make sure that video is on mute so that the user can choose whether they want to listen to it or not, or whether they can in the area where they are. If this is yours, then we want details about it, how you did it, who it was for, what you used to film it and produce it. Okay? Not kind of a sales pitch for a company. Okay? Super important. All right, so this is getting my attention. Make sure we rename our videos so that they aren't these long numbers or gobbledygook. Tell us what it is, what you used, who it was for, your role in that. And be careful about not having thumbnails for something.
I'm telling you, it's real hard to do.
Okay, you've got some smart things in here, but you have some generic things too. So that's all that you need to take care of. The font is looking good. Okay, you already did pin that. It's good. We do have a couple of different fonts there, but It's still working okay. All right, so that's the thing there. Yep, so I need to know more about this. Okay, short films. I've got what seems like the same thing here. But this is interesting. So give me more on this. All right, that has to come out. You have great work, you know. If you want to put something on this page other than a black and white form, then select a still here that, you know, shows off your work. All right, let's just check the mobile on this. Okay, we want to check out that. I'm going to refresh it, make sure I'm looking at it at 100%. Make sure you're building at 100%. This probably would be better in your footer, and that wouldn't happen. Be careful about line breaks if you can avoid those. You can take this off, powered and secured. Again, 2 reasons. If this is already a company and you've already filed it, then great. If not, there's a couple of things you want to be aware of. Somebody else could see this and they could purchase this. They could purchase a website domain. They know that somebody out there wants it and they mark the price up hundreds of dollars when it might not be, you know, might be $20 or $30 a year right now, but somebody sees that somebody wants it and they see that it isn't actually a business yet, they buy those things cheap, and then you can't get them unless you pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars. They could also take the name if it's not already filed with the government. So better to just keep it as you for now and work on this stuff behind the scenes until you're ready. I think most students take intellectual property, and that would be the time, if not sooner, to go ahead and file for your company. And they will talk about copyright and things like that. So when we start talking about drones and all these different tools and things, that is what sets you apart. The jargon points that AI makes doesn't, because it all looks like that on everybody's. But otherwise, you know, a few details and it could be completely yours and unique and really cool. All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, Dakota, I believe, let's see if this goes anywhere. This might be going somewhere and changing, but I can't tell because I believe that this might be your full header. We'll see when I check this. Yeah, so we can't have all this in your header. You could have it on a home page and that'd be great, but you need to separate and just have your name, you know, and what you do up here in the header and your menu. Because what happens is somebody goes to another page and they don't know they're on another page because the header is so deep. They don't see, they have to scroll down here to see if there's a change. It's going to look more like this with your name and what you do. And this could be, like I say, on a home page. Go ahead and make sure you link up to at least a LinkedIn, maybe a YouTube if you have it. Instagram is good too. Okay, this is good. Make sure you remove all placeholder text. Just delete that, but you do need to have your email. Remove this, it's placeholder. You don't need this page, it looks like. If you have mostly videos, then I would okay, take this out. It's easy to add all this later, but for your grade this month and for your skeleton to get your site ready, have portfolio and have it link. It can link here, but you could also just have films right here with a little more space here and not have this. But we need to get into the content quicker. You could take a little space out here, a little space out here. We want to make sure everything is aligned here, have some padding there. Make sure your rules are equally spaced and that comes over here. You don't have to have a bullet. You can, but you don't have to. And really, and then take this out. I know it's great for the future, but I would take that out. The background, I think it is a template background. I would take it out. That should link to here when we click it. There's a video I'm going to be posting that will talk about linking, just in case someone has a one page and it's not working the way they like. This will also be up here when they click on About. It's going to pop up just like that, and it's going to look great. Again, you will have what you do up here as well. But all of that is in the way. Okay. Even if you did this, if you took all of this out and you had this, you would need a button that gets us into all of these, probably. Otherwise, there might not be a need for this. And you could have the video playing here, but it will slow your site down and it will take up space that is best reserved for your videos. All right, so keep that in mind. It's going to look fantastic. You have all the elements. That is breaking up oddly. When you have it up here, it's going to work when you put your name and your skill there. This will then be brought up here. It's just that that header is really deep, and that's one of the reasons it's where it is. Okay, so every time we click here, we can't, it feels like we're on the same page, even though somewhere down here it has changed. We just need to link to that. Once you have a couple of sweeping changes, like take this out in the background and close up spaces, it's gonna be completely different and be super user friendly. All right. Okay, Charles. Let's see. We want your name and we want what you do up here in the header. This is linked and that's awesome. It's just hard to see. The contrast isn't there, and that will come up next week when you start working on accessibility. Okay. But you have your enter button. I can't really read that, but maybe it's something you've had for a while, so fine. This gets a little confusing. We do want a consistent navigation. Remember, we don't want anybody who comes to our site to have to think too much. They're used to going to websites. They're used to expecting things to function in a certain way. They just want to see your work, okay? And you don't have to have a lot of work. I'm curious if there are dupes here, because if there are, then they need to come out. And people are used to, and search engines are used to, the word contact, and queries is okay, but keep that in mind for search engines and things. Okay, and your work. So you do want to have your name and skill up here. Make sure you're meeting all the requirements for the class. Here's the thing with your portfolio, if you're using Adobe. It's no longer free, right? So you have to make sure that you always have your Creative Suite. I think it bundles with Photoshop. Keep in mind also, you'll have to go through and pick out all of the accessibility issues. For Wix, it has an accessibility wizard, and it's going to go through and highlight everything for everyone in the class so that they can submit that assignment next week. You will have to go through all the requirements for accessibility on your own and provide a list of those things that you did. Also, you need the year down here and your name up here. Make sure you go through the checklist, because if not, you're going to lose points unnecessarily, all right? We like to have navigation. So you're going to use that as your social media. All right. So those are the things you want to think about. All right. Okay. All right, Cody. I like the colors. I like that. I like the logo. Tiling logos. They're kind of busy and they usually crop something. So I think a nice solid look of your logo here would be sharp and work better for you. Okay, so that's important. Telling us that you created this, okay, using Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. Okay, these are the things that we're looking for. That you created this logo and you did it using Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop. Make sure that things are really sharp when you're talking about logos and avoid cropping them. You'll find clients, want to make sure their whole logo is viewed. It's clean and it's easy to understand. I do like this one. And it's sharp. It's really sharp. You do have, I like this one too. You do have a number of things going on. Not sure that that's selling you as well as something sharp and clean. These are kind of feel like a brand. This feels like flyer, and that's something people are going to assume you can do. And people don't get paid as often to make a flyer as they do a logo. So these logos are what you want to focus on for sure. This one, that feels a little more powerful, but really, I think you just want to streamline it and focus on those logos. Okay, that's good. That's the right place. Let's see if the contact goes to the right place. Nice. Okay. I'm okay with this, but I kind of need to see it picked, even doing that if it's a style, I just kind of need to see it picked up here too, right? And this sort of feels like an afterthought. Yes, it's in a good place as far as balance, but I think once you move this can go here and might close that up a little, give a little space here. And I think it's going to look great. Let's look at the mobile. Yeah. Yeah, so go through, double check, make sure nothing is overlapping. That may be a large file that needs to be optimized. And you're going to need to resize that and probably extend that column. But it's a great start. Clean. It's going to look great by next week. It's going to be amazing. Okay. Maybe a contact me up here and not over that. Maybe more like that. Contact. Maybe all caps and green. All right. Nice work. Nice work. Let's go to another one. Okay, Jonathan. All right. Immediately, I want to know what you do, right? I'm my attention's caught by you hold my hand. That's intriguing. But we need this to be, first, you want to make sure you're creating it in Illustrator, and probably, and I don't expect you to have this by next week, but probably you're going to make this larger right here, and separate this to where it's to the right in text. That works well with this. And this can be its own square that doesn't have quite so much padding on each side, but more like this. And yeah. Okay, love that shot. Let's see. Make sure everything is easy to read. These look like they're your photos, so that's good. They don't look like they're AI. Never had to deal with that a few years back so much, but now we do. Yeah, the template text isn't great, so I would change that to probably this, lowercase, upper and lowercase. The other thing you want to do is pin this to the top and make your background opaque 100%. Okay, so it won't overlap with anything like that. You see, you won't have that happening. I would probably bring this up to align with this. Okay. But yeah, super fun. Yeah, I like that you have your weddings. Now on the home page here, you've got quite a few things. I'm not sure you need this here. I feel like that needs to be just on the About page. All right, yeah, I feel like you just want this here and not this because of this break there. It kind of takes us out of this environment that you've created with your film. So you just need that. Weddings, good. Sports, good. Uh-huh. Nice. Nice. Great. All right. I'd rather not see text cover up faces, you know? If this were to move over a little bit or something, but the color is great. It's just, it doesn't fall back, not like it does over here. It's sharp. Our focus goes here, but yet we're supposed to be reading this. So keep that in mind. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's look at the mobile. Yeah, you deserve to spend a little time on that logo. You're going to love it if you do. Okay, let's center that. I'm going to update that font. A little hard to read. It may be that it's bold, it may be that it's competing with something and that the background changes contrast. But I mean, it's not horrible. I've seen, you could read it. It's just, it's not easy. Okay, probably make that a little lighter for your mobile. Okay, so here you have upper and lowercase. I like it. Here you have all caps and all caps. And so go ahead and place them in the same place. But again, I prefer not to have faces covered up. But you do want to make sure those feel like a consistent brand. Okay. All right. I'm looking forward to week 4. I've got a great group this month. I'm pretty excited about that. All right, let's look at one more. No, I think we've covered all of the remaining videos. So, all right. Okay, everybody. Great job this month. I can't wait to see what you do. You just have a few little edits and then it's going to be topped off and you'll be able to use it whenever you're ready. All right. Reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. And you can also contact me for a one-on-one if you need it, and we'll jump into the Zoom virtual. All right. Otherwise, have a great weekend coming up, and I will be seeing you online.